Hey Lauren, thanks for sending the email with the videos. I've been trying to do this video reviews, and I was just trying to figure out my microphone because the volume was really low when I sent to other people. So I think I got it figured out now. So we'll just go through these videos that you sent. So first one for squat. It's fine if you don't want to use your belt for pause squats as long as you can do the weight and it's not really hard. But if we start going heavier and it get it really hard, then you can put on your belt to help you out. So walkout and setup was good. Oh, there's your tempo squats. Same thing with the tempo squats. You don't have to use your belt, so you can just focus on your positioning with the tempos. But if we ever get heavier and need to, you can always put it on. So here with the tempo squats, you're keeping your knees forward really well. So that's what we want to do with our regular squat too, is use our quads, keep the knees forward, and not let them shoot back. All right, so tempo squats are good. You just want to try and be consistent on the way down. You don't want to go down really slow for the first half and then drop in the hole. So that was good right there. It was very consistent on the way down and pretty consistent on the way up. Okay, here's the pause squats. Again, walk down setup were good. Speed on the way down is good. That pause there was good. I don't know if it was this next rep that I saw. That was good. I think I saw one of your reps you were a little bouncing the bottom, so you want to make sure you stay tight. And after you're done pausing, it's just straight up. You're not kind of bouncing back down to go up. It might have been on a different video that I saw that. But those were good. You go down, stay there for the pause, and then come straight up. No bouncing or trying to go back down further to come back up. For bench press, glad we're using the rack where you can get the right height for the hooks and for the safety. And you got the bench set up well so that you're not over this little gap. So your elbows want to come in a little bit off the chest, which a lot of people do. So your elbow actually went in this way when we want it to actually go out that way. So that happens to a lot of people who are trying to use uh, more triceps and kind of pushing it this way to get their triceps underneath it. Do it like a skull crusher or tricep extension, and we want it to come out this way and use more of your chest like a chest fly. So just something we need to work on. But after that initial push of the elbows in, right there, you actually do then start bringing your elbows out. So it's good on the rest of the way up. It's just that initial push off the chest. We don't want the elbows going in towards your sides this way. We want them to kind of stay in place and slowly work their way out, away from your body. And then we already discussed the stuff with your keeping your shoulder blades down and back this way and not letting your shoulders shrug up towards your head and use your traps. So pretty good bench right there. Overall, just got to work on this elbow position right off the chest. All right, squats here, heavy squats. Again, set up and walk out. Pretty good right there. Yeah, consistent speed going down. Just got to focus on driving these knees out as much as you can. I know that they want to come in, they're going to come in, but you still want to try and fight as much as you can. So instead of it coming in, uh, maybe say 6 inches, maybe they'll only come in 3 or 4 inches if you're actively fighting against it. But if you're not fighting against it, you're not thinking about it, it comes in 6 inches, then it's going to obviously be worse on your knee and it's going to take your hips out of the movement. So the more you can push out against it and the faster you can get them back out, the better it's going to be. So it's fine that if it comes in here a little bit, then you want to try and focus on pushing it back out. So by now, you should be able to get them back out because you're in an easier position here where you can get your knees back out compared to the bottom. So you want to try and actively fight against it and try and get them back out over the toes as fast as you can. let's take a look at this bench. So here, everything looks pretty solid. With the wider grip, forearm's going to be angled out, that's fine. But you still have the bar over the wrist and over the elbow joint, touching low on the chest. And that was pretty smooth. Just got to focus on always getting tighter in the chest. You can always focus on getting tighter where there's not as much bouncing, because the faster you can stop the bar, the faster you get the press command. If it's bouncing up and down a little bit like it did there, a national or international referee is going to wait for that bounce to stop. A state referee might give it to you anyways, but like on this rep, they're going to wait for that to stop and then give you the press command, and then you have to react to it and get the press. So that's going to take longer than what you're doing here with a good referee. So always just got to focus on the chest, squeezing the bar as hard as you can with your hands, squeezing your shoulder blades together as hard as you can to keep the chest up, and then just trying to barely touch, like doing a soft touch rather than trying to sink it all the way down in. All right, but overall that was solid. At least from this position, it looks like your shoulders are staying down better and drops aren't going towards your ears. All right, let's look at our deadlift. So here it looks like you might have sat down a little bit too much, where you're trying to get the shoulder behind the bar and you're trying to get your arms straight up and down. Where we want our front delt a little bit forward the bar and then the arm angling back a little bit. So that's why your hips shoot up a little bit, so that you can get this front delt in front of the bar and then the arm angling back. So your body's naturally, with enough weight, the weight's gonna pull you in the position that you're supposed to be in. With the 135 pounds, you might be able to do it the way that you're trying to set up, but once you get over your own body weight, you're getting over 300 pounds, then that bar is going to pull you out of position. The downside to that is for some people, when they get pulled out of position, then their back starts rounding. So then we want to be in the right position with our back straight and tight, so we can stand straight up rather than being in the wrong position and then getting pulled into this bad position here. And then that's why you have to unravel yourself once you get up here. So once you're at this position, again, you're pulling your shoulders behind the bar, which then means you have to push your knees in front of the bar to support it on your thighs to unrack it, whereas the shoulder needs to stay over the bar the entire time. So with enough weight and a good referee, they're going to call that for supporting it on the thighs or ramping, whatever you want to call it. So here you're at least in a little bit of a better starting position, and then not as much rounding when it pulled you out of position. But again, when you're here, it should be knees going back, but coming forward, shoulders going back. What you're doing right now is knees going forward, butt going forward, shoulders coming back. So you have to focus on locking your knees out, and when you're at this point, so the knees have to go this way, towards the right, if we're locking out our knees. And then to lock out our hips need to go this way, and to get our shoulders back, our shoulders have to go this way. So I still got to focus on that a little bit. That movement, it's going to take some time to figure out. That's why we have the tempo squats in there. I wonder if I can show you an example on one of my videos. If I can find one that's a good angle. Maybe this one, even though it's from the front. So that's my starting position. You can't see it from the side to see the back angle and the arm angle. You can kind of see the arm is angling back here. But once you're here, see how my knees are already pretty much locked out at this point, because that's how it pulls. So at this point, the knees should just finish locking out, hips come through. So here, knees are locked out, and hips are just coming through. So I'm not pushing my knees forward underneath it. Here's another one. I think this one's more weight, so we'll see if I do the same thing. So here, knees are pretty much locked out. So at this point, The knees are going to go back, hips are going to come forward, and shoulders are going to go back. So now knees are locked out, hips are finishing to come forward, and then locked out. Let me see if I can find another one from. Well, let's look at Jill. See how she does it, just so you can have someone else. So here, again, here at this point, knees are going to go back to lock out, hips are going to come forward, and then she locks out. So not throwing the knees forward underneath the bar. So hopefully that helps to go over what you need to work on for squat. It's mostly just trying to fight the knees coming in and push them out as much as you can. For bench, it's just trying to stay as tight as possible on the chest. And for deadlift, it's just that once you get the bar past your knees, then it should be the knees locking out, hips locking out, shoulders locking out, not the knees rebending and going forward underneath the bar. All right, hope that helps.